Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of the ABS show. You have tuned into Mina TV, so go ahead and subscribe to our channel. And Yazzie, what can they do next?
They can comment, subscribe, share, and make sure that they're following us on social media at the ABS show.
Yeah.
We all also have our social media, so you can DM us with all your questions as
They can slide in your DM.
Yeah, no, not like that. I've been getting a lot of, like they say how they feel, it's, and stuff like that, which is cool.
All right, so we're going to talk about a very huge topic going on in Liberia. And Glitterati, you have this one. What's going on in Liberia?
Yes, I do. So Liberia, which has been in war was at war for 15 years, but now they're kind of getting themselves out of it. So just out, the Liberian ex-government is now under investigation for the missing $104 million, 66 billion Liberian dollars.
Oh.
Can you imagine containers of money? Containers, like the Igbo men, containers are missing. So, and the thing about it is this 15 people have been indicted in it that were part of the central bank in Liberia. And within that thing, her son was one of the chief officers in the bank too. So where is pushing this investigation because he never knew about the money, but now this money's gone missing. And Liberia right now is on a rebuild. A lot of people don't even have basic healthcare, basic things that are happening. The average salary for a Liberian is $100 a year.
A year?
What?
A year?
What?
I thought it was bad in Ghana. It's about $100 a month in Ghana.
Yeah, so it's really, really bad. And there's still a plantation in Liberia, the Firestone plantation. So they still have slaves in Liberia.
You lie.
I'm dead serious. So imagine all of that, but they have $104 million disappeared.
Just like that.
Before we get into this topic, by the way, I think you look fabulous today. I love your look, your earrings, your glasses. I was just staring at you, like gorgeous.
Scholarly sexy.
I love it. But back to the topic, yeah.
Listen, I feel bad for Liberia. Liberians, they've gone through a whole lot. Up to recently, they're still fighting, the civil war, and it seems like they can't catch a break. And he's not the only person. They are known for that. I mean, Africans know, corruption. But like a lot of Liberian officials are known for stealing money. Charles Taylor was also accused of stealing a huge sum of money as well. And I feel like some of these civil war and all of that are propagandas. They do that to distract the citizens from what is actually really going on, which is them stealing the money, and God knows what they're using their money for. What are they using the money for?
And that was a good fact because she was in bed with him. They were working together, so she should have gone to jail with him when he was sent to jail. Yeah. But there's a lot of cover-up.
Sent to jail?
Charles Taylor. She was part of the stealing of the money then too.
Really?
She has one of the biggest and luxurious hotels in Liberia. What does a luxury hotel needed for Liberia? So she owns a lot of property. She's put a lot of her kids in places. So she definitely has a lot explaining to do.
Charles Taylor actually stole the money, used it for, like you said, hotels, bought a lot of houses, cars, and a lot of sexual partners. Also, yes, according to New York Times, yes. So they're getting it on in Liberia.
So how much time did he get in jail?
I don't know the exact facts, and I don't want to say the wrong thing, but yeah.
And did he have to pay the money back?
What is the law? What is the law even in Liberia when they?
I don't know.
I'm
just surprised that this lady is really involved in this because I didn't really know her history. When she was the president, there were so many, I don't know if it was painted information, but there were so many good news about her, about how she helped to get the nation out of debt, that they were owing a lot of money to China or something like that. So now hearing this, I'm really surprised.
Were you surprised?
You know better. Because I thought she was a good woman to me. That's what I thought.
But and also she's one of the first women presidents, right? That was in Africa.
Yeah.
So think about that. She's this great figure, but like I say, power corrupts absolutely. What is the problem across all of Africa right now? Corruption.
I know.
Why? How much can you spend $104 million by yourself?
No.
Greediness is what's going on. But is this cash or what is going on? Because I don't understand how they can trace this. They can trace some 100 and what?
They said there was an order to print that money, which is about 16 billion Liberian dollars. It was they were asked to print that money, and then they put it into containers, and then something happened, and the containers
walked away with the snakes.
It disappeared.
So it wasn't like different monies from like different deals or different transactions.
No. It's from the Central Bank of Liberia, just like every Ghana. You guys have yours. Ours is Central Bank of Nigeria. That's where they print the actual notes. So there was an order to print that note, and after it was printed and put into containers, the container borrowed legs. So that's exactly what it is.
And infiltrating that money in such a bad economy, because that money is going back into the economy. You can't find it. How is it showing up? Like, where's the checks and balances?
So she's claiming that it has nothing to do with her, and they should bring out all the receipts from the investigation they have done within the central bank. But again, she said her son was working in the central bank. So definitely if there was something, maybe they would have discarded all the evidence. So we don't know.
But they're saying that the money arrived at the port, right? Because the money arrived from Sweden or China. Like, the money wasn't printed
they claim they printed it from Sweden. And then, definitely they'll ship the containers to the nation. But the container still borrowed leg. We don't know where the container is.
You know what bugs me about these authorities in Africa? They don't take accountability for anything. Like, who is in charge? Like, where's the responsibility? Take responsibility of what you're supposed to do. Serve your country. And that's why they voted for you. They voted for you to serve them. You are rather serving your pockets.
It's embarrassing because they usually take us for granted in Africa. They tell us any kind of story. Look at the other time in Nigeria, they say monkey swallowed money, snake
and
swallowed
people are believing
money.
this.
Before you know, in Liberia, they will say baboon or chimpanzee ate some parts of the money. Like, I mean, they can't even give us any accountability.
Can we talk about how, exactly, I was about to ask that. Can we talk about how to solve situations like this from not happening again? Do you think cryptocurrency can help? Oh, I know. I went there. Do you think something like that can help?
Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin. Let's introduce those kind of things to Africa. That way we can track it.
I don't know about cryptocoin because it's not solid yet. You know what I mean? It's still like very, very new, and it's online money. And I think that if anything, you can even be able to hide it more.
It's dangerous. Not
if
even
anything,
your banking details.
yeah, I feel like if anything.
So then, how can we solve this? Because this is not working.
Accountability. I don't know. There has to be strict laws against corruption because there's this immunity that falls on the hands of the tiers of government. Like when you're a political leader, there's an immunity against you. On you, I mean, as in the people cannot persecute you until after you leave office. So while you are in power, you sign a lot of checks, you make a lot of demands, you make a lot of, there's nothing that can be done. So I think the law has to focus on how to persecute people even while they are still in power.
Because when you're in a high office, nobody can do anything to you in Africa. See, like when you are the president in Gabon, the president used to take duffel bags and collect money out of the central bank. And they see it with their eyes.
And they can't do anything.
They're scared.
They can't do anything.
Well, I think that one of the things that we can do is, number one, we need to go what we talk about here all the time. The presidents needs to start getting younger because we actually need to have African presidents that actually want to help the economy. African presidents that actually want to elevate Africa. Like it's just too much. This issue is not just in Liberia. Maybe theirs is like coming out right now, but we all know that this goes on in Nigeria, probably Ghana as well. Who knows where else it goes on. So I think maybe that would be the first step, is really putting the power in the hands of somebody who actually wants change.
But that's why accountability is being called, because George Weah is one of the youngest presidents out of Africa.
In Africa.
So, he's a football player,
he's not poor, he's not hungry for money. So actually, I think he really came to serve because he got into power a couple of months ago, and this is coming out.
But, I also feel very bad for him because he's just had a lot of difficulty ever since he came into the power with this issue. Now, because of this issue, the Liberian money has fallen like 20% again. Already, it was very horrible against the US dollar. Now it's fallen 20% already. They're having some other issue with some electrical company in Turkey. So it's kind of like a very, very rough start for him. And that might give him a difficult time for him to do his job well.
And when I went to Liberia, talking about they minted new bills. When I went to Liberia, their money is so old. I've never seen such dirty. Like,
because all the new money is stolen, right?
And the dollar, you can use the dollar in Liberia. And it's like the oldest, all of USA, they're funneling all of their dirty old bills into Liberia. So Liberia is really led by the US. Like, it's held up by the US.
Wait a second.
So they use
Wait
US
a second. You're telling me I walk in a Liberian store and I can pay with US dollars?
Yes.
That is ridiculous. So how is the country going to elevate if we can use US dollars there? That makes no sense. If it's such a poor country and people are making $100 a month, a year, whatever, like, how are people even going to have access to dollars?
That's the question. So, like, when you have such a juggernaut holding you back, and that's what a lot of these Western countries or European countries are holding us back. We're still paying taxes. We're still doing things. When we're being held down, how do we kind of flourish with us having a master? because we are all
holding you down?
shadowboxing, right?
Who's holding you down? Yourself, right?
But I'm talking about the European countries. European countries, Western countries still have vested interests because you know what Liberia has? It has rubber. Rubber, which is they produce all of the tires that we're driving in our cars.
Yeah,
it's produced it's tapped in Liberia, but they don't have factories there to create it. It's then sent here to be created here.
Yeah,
so you don't even giving them jobs with industry, just having them tap the rubber. Then they have diamonds, they have gold. So there's a lot of, a lot of that going on. So like when there's a lot of resources, places with the most resources have the least money.
Yes, and a lot of war. Because as you guys are saying, they do all the civil war and all of this stuff to kind of hide, distract people so that other things can go on. Because I never even knew that. Like I never knew that all these things were produced in Liberia. So there's no reason why people in Liberia should be making $100 a year. There's no reason for it.
And let me add to that, when you go into the Firestone factory, the supermarket is owned by Firestone. The hospital, the clinics, the schools are owned, and you have to pay your small money that you've gotten back to Firestone.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you don't even get to even really enjoy because everything is made in that silo, and in that store is expired goods. They're selling expired goods to people there. So you think about all of this.
But where's the UN? I thought there was something called like the United Nations that is supposed to like step in when. No, it's not because they're sick of them. It's because it's Africans. Nobody cares. It's like let them kill each other. Let them starve each other. Because if this was going on like in France, London, USA, you better believe that all the other countries will come together and be like, no, this. Look at when they had a terrorist attack in France. What? Great Britain, USA, we all run over there.
We have to help ourselves. I think also transparency will also help. Let the people know what you're using the money for. Okay, you've stolen money. Right, let's say you've stolen money. Let us know, what are you using the money for? Are you going to build like private hospitals? Are you going to build schools? Let us know how you're spending this money. So at least we can at least forgive you. But you just took it. Boom, go. Come on.
The worst part is why don't they chop and let us chop some too?
That's it.
That's
what the Western politicians do because they steal money too. But at least we have healthcare, we have free education, we have a welfare system. So they have all of that. So take care of people first because you can't chop belly full all that money in your lifetime.
Right. It goes back to the greediness I was talking about. I don't know who taught them, if it started from family, I don't know what happened, but they just want everything to themselves and it's really, really bad. Disgusting. Ugh. So moving forward though, like what do you suggest the UN does? Because you mentioned the UN.
Well, I suggest whether the UN or maybe, I don't know if there's like a West Africa, like all the West African presidents, ECOWAS, need to get together and they need to like start asking questions in the Liberian government, like what's going on. And the Firestone factory, like the pay needs to be raised up. They need to put more factories in there and make them manufacture the tires inside of Liberia to create jobs. Like it's not fair.
And they're in a contract. They're in a contract for 100 years with Firestone.
Oh.
The last government, this lady,
100-year
contract with Firestone.
They can't just get out of that
100 years. We're not going to be alive when the contract is ended.
But that
was the truth. It's the fact.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So can the new government can veto that or cancel that?
I don't know. There must be terms and conditions, and those terms are not what they can reach right now. See, 16 billion Liberian dollars is missing, and they don't even know where
not only do they need to throw this woman in jail, not only do they need to do that, but she needs to pay back some of that money too.
But the thing is,
that's my whole point.
But another thing we should focus on is
bring the money back. She has it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that she has to pay the money back.
For now, there's no statement. The central bank said they're going to release a statement after an internal investigation. So all fingers are pointing at her without solid evidence. Let's be honest. So we don't really know, but it happened in the past government. So definitely it's not George Weah's government. But what people are suggesting is that there should be an independent investigation because even the central bank, she still has power there. So whatever statement they're going to bring out might be false.
Got it.
An independent investigation is a solution.
And I don't believe it because according to what they were saying, that she didn't know about the money. As a whole president, you don't know what's going in and out of your country.
Exactly.
That alone should disqualify you. Ridiculous.
And it's sad, but I think she just might be able to get away with it because if the money disappeared from the port, then I mean clearly she's not the one that was at the port picking up the money. So it would have to be up to whoever was at the port that picked up the money, that took the money to snitch on her, which I'm pretty sure they're going to be scared to snitch on her because she's very powerful and she's probably going to come after their family.
Yeah. To speak to your point about George Weah being one of the youngest presidents and already being accomplished and not needing all those things that are not needing all that money, but you know when anybody gets into power, that power can corrupt you. Even the best or the nicest or the person who really has the best interests at heart, it gets corrupted, or they remove you, like they did Kwame Nkrumah. So, like, you know, if you are ethical, they don't keep you in. The West doesn't want ethical presidents in office.
If you are too straightforward and you just want to work and do the job, they'll kick you out. Because these people, they don't get into power by themselves.
Yes.
They have a lot of people with a lot of political agendas, especially their sponsors, the political sponsors. They need that money that they put in your campaign, that money that they put in your election and everything to make sure you won, and all the commercials and advertisement. So when you get in power, they also want to tell you how to rule. And if you don't do their way, they'll kick you out.
You probably also promised them during your campaign.
You made promises, true.
They want it back.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't really follow up with George Weah's campaign, but I don't know. I've heard some things about him, about some deputies back here in New York.
Really?
Already?
Yes, from very, very reliable sources. So I don't know. I mean, it's not huge amounts, but
how much?
It's not. I think like $3,000-$4,000. But I just look at him like as a whole soccer player. If you're so established, you're so successful, why would you owe somebody in New York $4,000? How do you forget about owing somebody that works for you or
so pay?
Yeah, but anyway, again, I don't know about that. He could be probing into this investigation just to literally bring this woman down, or just because he's mad that he didn't tap into the money. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like a president for a country should be completely selfless. Like, it should be a job, like, you shouldn't even be paid to do it, because you should be doing it to, like, serve your country back. That's what I think, especially when it comes to like Africa. Forget Africa. When it comes to a country like Liberia, where they're struggling like this, they're stuck in a do or die 100-year contract. Right. Like, as a president, you shouldn't even be thinking of money. You should just be thinking of, how do I help my community? How do I help these people rise? How do I help the Liberian money to go against the Ghana money, the dollar?
Money,
that's what you should. And if they're providing you transport, a place to live, and food, what do you really need the money for? Especially a man like George Weah, you're already successful. Like, what do you even really need the money for? He should have volunteered to work for free.
No, but it's under the Constitution. Like, every president gets paid.
Okay, so you know what?
Every arm of government, you know.
I'm not interested in politics, but if I was ever to like run for president of Ghana, like, I would donate, if they would cover my transportation, where I live, my food, like my basic necessities, I would give my pay to a charity. Like, I would do something with the pay.
You should own an
for
NGO.
The people.
You shouldn't be in politics.
Yeah,
two different things.
I am affiliated with an NGO, but that's what I would do with the pay. I would like set something up in such a way that it's going right back to people that actually really, really need it, and people in Ghana need it. And when you do something like that, the rich, successful people of the country are gonna bring you even more money.
Even the NGOs, they make money. I'm just saying.
NGOs make a lot of money.
They make money.
They don't pay tax.
When you give Red Cross $1, like only 20 cents of it goes to actually what the other 80 cents ends up going for staff members, and they get paid.
I was gonna say, to answer your question, when you said what can we do? What we're doing right now is doing something, kind of like, you know, telling people about what's happening and what's going on. Plus, a lot of the Liberian youth were the ones that came up and they made sure that Judge Weah got into office. So they need to rise up now and make sure, protesting, getting the word out, being on social media, doing what they need to do to get the word out. Because it was like backtracked in news. They're not even talking about it in the West, right? Why are we not? Why is it not on ABC or NBC? Like, it's not on any news channel.
So let's talk about it.
But we're talking about it. So I think that kind of talking about it and holding your politicians accountable. Because something that I know about people that are in power, they don't like to look bad. So if you're making them look bad, they're going to try and backpedal, fix it in some way or some form to make sure that things are happening. But with her, she's going to be a very hard nut to crack, because she's a powerful woman in Liberia.
I mean, we can talk about it, but for me, I don't see this ending. I don't see corruption ending, because just like the US, the Western world, most of this Western world, it's built on it. Most countries in Africa are built on corruption. I don't see it ending. If you ask me, like in 10, 20 years, it's still going to happen. People are still going to take bribes. People are still going to be stealing from us. It's not going to happen. So yes, we can talk about it all we want, but if somebody like me I don't have hope. that it's going to end, then what happens? Then what's next, you know? So I think that's how most people feel in Africa. It's like, why should I talk about it? It's not going to end.
Well, but if everybody have that mentality, then nothing will ever be solved. If like, okay, in terms of slavery, if people like Martin Luther King had that mentality, nothing will happen. Like, whatever, why fight it? It's never going to end. Some people still need to come together, especially the youths, the Liberian youths, and they have to fight it.
And even I always say to people, like, little things that's like us who live overseas, like owning properties back home, owning businesses back home, all these things help our economies. It's important. Like, everyone is so eager to like buy a house in America, buy a house in London, blah, 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 but you don't have a house back home. You know what I mean?
Or a business that provides employment.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So there are other little tiny, like, people always say, oh, you always want to blame the finger, point the finger, Buhari this, Mahama this, Weird this, whatever. But what are you also doing to help your community? Every little thing counts.
Better have my money. So have their money, okay? All right, we're going to end here, guys. Thank you so much for having this conversation. It's really, really important. And also let us know in the comments your thoughts on these topics. We really want to hear from you. My Liberians, chime in, all right? Until next time, you're watching the ABS show, and this is Mina TV. Have a good day.
Thanks for watching, and if you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.